As the White House prepares for battle over its plans to reduce the nation's deficit, lawmakers also have got to tackle getting the government out of bailed-out mortgage giants Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Anthony Sanders is professor of finance at George Mason University, joining me now from Washington, D.C. with more. Anthony, it's great of you to be here. The Wall Street Journal has an editorial today that essentially says Treasury wants the companies phased out, but then punts on how to do it. Can we do it as a nation?
Well, thanks for having me. First of all, going back to the previous story, I wish Fannie Mae, the candy company, ran the mortgage giants. We wouldn't be $400 billion in losses to taxpayers. But having said that, the answer is yes. There's a very easy solution to this. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac does not really help the mortgage market very much. In fact, about a quarter of a point. And so there really are just a deadweight loss to taxpayers. So I don't think we'll miss them at all. That's an overblown myth, like getting rid of Social Security.
But we have to try it to see if that is the case, right? And it seems like even though the Treasury has come out with these proposals, that nobody is really ready to act right here and right now to do it for fear that the cost might be higher to all the American people.
Well, look at it this way. In their proposal, they said raise the insurance premiums. Well, that's a no-brainer. They underprice insurance so badly. That's why they're all in deep trouble. Secondly, they said let's phase them out. Well, then they're going to punt it back to the Republicans in the House to say, here, you do this. But the answer is that there's so much money chasing yields around the world right now. Trillions of dollars. You don't think if we have a private market substitute for Freddie and Fannie that money won't flow into it? I mean, that's ludicrous. It will come.
But then it raises the issue of, well, what's going to be the government's role when credit is tighter, when you don't have that kind of money chasing yield? And that's one of the suggestions in the three proposals out of the Treasury. And that's something that's the first and foremost question that everybody has to answer. What's the role going to be for the government in mortgage finance in the decades to come?
That's correct. Very clearly, at least from the administration and Democrats, while they say we don't care which one you pick, oh, sure they do. They all like the guarantee. And if you have a guarantee, you're going to need some humongous enterprise like Fannie, Freddie, or HUD to do the guarantee. And even if they get rid of Fannie, for example, they'll just transfer all that over to HUD. I mean, it's just going to be a shell game. But the demand for a guarantee amongst the investing community, et cetera, is huge. The demand for guarantees amongst taxpayers is zero. So do you think, Anthony, before we go, that we get rid of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and we get the government out of mortgage finance? Is that doable? It's doable. Let's see if they have the political will to do so. I mean, all they have to do in the private market sector is have a 20% down mortgage privately insured program. That will work. What do you do about credit impaired? Well, we already have FHA and Ginnie over there, and nothing prevents the private sector from stepping in and doing credit impaired lending again. We just have to be kind of careful how we do it. But the government is not needed or wanted here.
Anthony, leave it at that. Thank you so much for being here. Anthony Sanders, take care. We'll see you soon.